Everyone, and today's lesson is on solving algebraic equations for beginners. Okay, let's get started. So, if for example I have x plus 2 equals to 5, and I'm going to put the same equation on the right hand side because all I want is just to show you two methods and you choose which one you prefer. Now, I know that I believe everyone can see the fact that the answer is 3 over there. But the reason that I'm going through these steps is because when we get more complex equations, these steps are very important that you need to understand and you can deal with more complex equations. So plus 2 here, the inverse of this plus 2 would be minus 2. And my intention is to move all the numbers to the number side on the right hand side and isolate x. And whatever I do on the left hand side, I have to do exactly on the right hand side. All the question is asking me to do is to solve for x, find the value of x, and here we go. Plus 2 and minus 2 will give me 0. Other words, we could just cancel it off. On the left hand side, we have x, and on the right hand side, we do 5 minus 2, we're going to get 3. Just to check if this answer is correct, you can plug 3 where x is. 3 plus 2 will get me back to 5, so I know that answer is correct. Second method, I can move that 2 to the number side on the right hand side. As I move that sign across the equal sign, the sign will change into negative. So therefore I have negative 2. On the left hand side, I'm left with x. And on the right hand side, if I calculate again that 5 minus 2, that will give me 3. Remember that on the left hand side, we no longer have plus 2 because we've actually moved it to the right hand side. So all we have on the left hand side is x. And on the right hand side, we have 3. And that's your final answer. You can plug it there and get 3 plus 2 will get you back to 5. Let's try another example. What about if I have a subtraction this time? X minus 2 equals to 5. X minus 2 equals to 5. Again, the opposite or the inverse of that negative 2 is plus 2. And my intention is to move all numbers to the number side. Whatever I do on the left hand side, I have to do exactly on the right hand side. Negative 2 and plus 2 will cancel each other. On the left hand side, I'll be left with x. And on the right hand side, if I calculate 5 plus 2 will get me 7. To check if my answer is correct, I could plug 7 where x is. 7 minus 2 will get me to 5. Therefore, I know that my answer is correct. Second method, move the negative 2 around to the other side. The sign will turn into positive. Therefore, we have positive 2. On the left hand side, we have x. Since the negative 2 has moved to the right hand side, we have nothing to worry about but just x. 5 plus 2 will get us to 7. 7 minus 2 will give us the answer to 5. Okay, let's find more steps equation. Next one. Say we have 2x plus 2 equals to, say, 10. Now, as you can see in the equation, we have 2 that we need to move on the right hand side, and we have 2 which is multiplied by x also needs to move to the right hand side. All we're trying to do is to move all numbers possible to the right hand side and isolate x. All right, positive 2, the inverse is negative 2. We have to do exactly the same on the right hand side. If we calculate this, On the left hand side, this will cancel off. We'll be left with 2x. The right hand side, we have 10 minus 2, which is 8. Now, this is not over yet because we have one more step to complete this. Since 2 is multiplied by x, and we know that the inverse of that multiplication is a division, therefore we can counter that multiplication of x by 2 with a division of 2. Okay, and on the right hand side, as always, we do exactly the same. 2 into 2, 1. 2 into 2 again, 1. Therefore, I'm only left with x. And on the right hand side, 2 into 8 goes 4 times. Okay, and therefore I have x equals to 4. Now, just to check that my answer is correct, I would plug 4 where x is. 2 times 4 will give me 8. 8 plus 2 will give me 10. I therefore know that my answer is correct. Now, let's try the other method. So if I had 2x plus 2 equals to 10. I'll start by moving that positive 2 to the right hand side with move all the numbers to the number side. The sign will obviously change, so I will have minus 2. I'm left on the left hand side just with 2x. 10 minus 2 is 8. One more step to clear this. 2 is multiplied by x. So to counter that, we need to divide by 2. And we also divide here by 2. Now we can do another way. The whole point of showing me twice is just to show you another way. 2 times x. So we need to counter this by a division. And therefore, we're going to move that 2 to the other side. As we move that 2 to the other side, what will happen is that the opposite of multiplication is division, and therefore we'll be dividing by 2 this time. On the left hand side, we have x. And on the right hand side, we have 8 divided by 2, which is 4. We no longer have 2 because we've moved it to the right hand side. As we moved it across the equal sign, the sign did change as much as the previous one with a positive 2. As we moved it across the equal sign, the sign changed to negative 2. Every time you move anything across the equal sign, if it was positive, it would move to negative. If it was multiplication, it would move into inverse to negative. Whatever you have on the left hand side, as you move across the equal sign, the sign will change. Again, if we want to check that, we can plug 4 into 2. 2 times 4 will give me 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 equals 10. So the equation is balanced. And therefore, we know that this is correct. Finally, before we go, we have another equation slightly different. 2x divided by 10 equals to 2. Now, whatever equation you got, you really need to go back to the basis. And the basis is the inverse. If you can understand inverse and work inverse, there is no equation that will be difficult to you. Like, for example, here we've got 2x divided by 10. We know that 10 is being divided. And therefore, to counter that 10, we need to multiply 10. So we counter this division 10 by multiplying by 10. Whatever we do on the left-hand side, we have to do exactly on the right-hand side. And why do we do that? Because we want to balance the equation. That will cancel it. We'll get 1, 1. And therefore, we're left with 2x on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, we have 2 times 10, which is 20. One more step before we can go. 2 is being multiplied by x. And therefore, to counter the multiplication, we have to do a division. Divide by 2 here. Divide by 2 here. 2 by 2 is 1, so I'll be left with just x. 2 into 20 will go 10 times. Therefore, x equals to 10. Now, to check if my answer is correct, I could plug 10 into x, substitute it. 2 times 10 is 20. 20 divided by 10 is 2. So I know that this equation balances, and this answer of mine here, x equals to 10, is correct. That's all we have for today. If you find this information useful, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it. Have a nice day and see you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.